Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Munley's World of Weather. Clicked on to long-range weather forecast discussion for February 3rd to the 15th. For February 3rd to the 7th, this is what we're forecasting. The patterns forecast transition to almost a quasi-zonal flow as this upper polar vortex lifts out to the northeast over eastern Canada. And here it is here. The flow, you can see, becomes quasi-zonal and heights start to rise. And here's our trough that begins to develop here in the west. Miles of good agreement. Now, with this pattern, this will be a milder weather regime across east central states by this weekend. And then in this flow, the west will become increasingly stormy. A few well-defined lows are expected to track across the plains and the Great Lakes before lifting into eastern Canada. And the system might have the potential for significant snow and winds to the north of the main surface lows. This will occur from the northern Rockies to the Great Lakes as Arctic air masses settle southward in the wake of these systems. The systems will progress into the east later in the period with showers and storms from the Gulf Coast to the Midwest and the eastern states in the warm sector. Development of an amplified trough next week will become increasingly colder for the west. February 6th to the 10th. Pattern doesn't change very much. Here's our trough here above normal heights here in the east. Here's the polar vortex begins to continue to lift towards the pole. So the pattern doesn't change very much, and the miles are good agreement, some more amplified than others. So for this forecast period, I am forecasting below normal temperatures for much of this region here, and I'm forecasting anomalies of 6 to 12 degrees or more are possible. You can see some anomalies are near 18, 12 degrees below normal, and then I'm forecasting above normal temperatures here, and I'm also forecasting anomalies of 6 to 12 degrees across this region here. For precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation for the west coast, and the probability of occurrence is 35%, and then we have above normal precipitation forecast from the plains to Atlantic coast. Probability of occurrence is 35 to 45%. Now we look at the period for February 11th to the 15th, and then you can see there's very little change in the overall circulation. The flow might become a little more amplified. It starts taking, more of a southwesterly flow here. And we look at some of the models. See, this is more zonal. This is GFS. Then we look at the ensembles. It's westerly flow. A little bit of a west-southwest flow. This is European. And then the NAEFS. They're all showing basically the same thing. So for this forecast period, I am forecasting below normal temperatures for much of this area here, and I'm forecasting anomalies of 6 to 12 degrees or more are possible. Now you can see here, compared to the previous period, that the cold or the trough kind of like progresses eastward. There's a chance of this happening later in the mid-period as this trough kind of like slides eastward. This knocks down anomalies here in the east. I'm forecasting anomalies of 4, maybe 6 degrees above normal. And for precipitation, I'm calling for a little change in the precipitation anomalies from the previous period. That's the long-range weather forecast discussion for February 3rd to the 15th. Thanks for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.